Hello and welcome back here on The Cave. My name is Elias, and in today's video we will again talk over some interesting facts, news and recent happenings in the crypto and finance space. As always, I will talk about financial topics. Please do not make decisions based on my opinions and my informations. Always do your own research, and with that being said, let's kick off the rambling. All right, as always, we start on CoinMarketCap. We see Bitcoin in the red, Ethereum in the green. Some major altcoins are actually in the green, as especially we see XRP right here. We pumped from, it's not even that much, it's just like 5%, I think. Yeah, 5% intraday. We pumped for XRP. Why that exactly happened, I will discuss in a bit. So first of all, I want to talk about my conspiracy theory. So the idea there is that Pepe was just a rigged game actually from a lot of big people, which just had the mission to reallocate a lot of liquidity back into the pockets of institutions like BlackRock and so on. So if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because there are always these sequences in the market. There are always sequences where money flows into stablecoins. From stablecoins, they go into Bitcoin, to the mothership of crypto. From Bitcoin, they go into Ethereum and the altcoins, and then they go into meme coins. Now, Pepe obviously benefited a lot of this inflow of liquidity, which we saw over the past months into Bitcoin, altcoins, and was now actually the meme coin which pumped the most. So what if this was a strategic move of a lot of big people which have a lot of liquidity, influence, and possible awareness to pump such a token, to gain a lot of liquidity, to dump these tokens then again, because we're talking about billions of dollars of market cap. And this is obviously a lot of money, even for BlackRock, right? And also about BlackRock, we talk in a bit because we saw that Tether actually made more revenue than them. But before we get into it, quickly, why Ripple pumped? So there are some optimistic developments regarding the Ripple case going on. So they had the opportunity to show some more documents, which obviously show something positive about them, because we're talking about old communications, which actually are looking good for Ripple. And the other thing is that they right now highly emphasize on a former SEC employee, or I think director even, which said that Ethereum is actually not a security. And since Ripple is structured quite like Ethereum, they say now, hey, then if Ethereum is no security, XRP is neither. And it looks just like a bit of a positive development. A lot of Ripple maxis now say, hey, we won. And I think we're not at the place of celebrating. So please be cautious and do your research on that one too. I'm not big into Ripple. I also think this whole thing took way too much time, and they obviously dumped a lot of money to just finance that whole case. Let's see where we end up. For now, I'm still not so optimistic like all these Ripple maxis, even though we saw a positive development. Next thing is actually that Tether made more revenue than BlackRock in Q1 of 2023. Reason for that was obviously, how does Tether make money? They made money, or they make money by issuing their native stablecoin, which is USDT. USDT is still the most used stablecoin out there. They have a lot of volume. They have a lot of USDTs in the system. And after USDC depacked, they obviously also gained a lot of liquidity. A lot of people which previously hold BUSD are now going back into USDC. Also, DAI, the biggest decentralized, it's not really decentralized, stablecoin, depacked for a bit because it's backed by a lot of USDC, which is obviously not decentralized. Therefore, DAI is really not decentralized too, but still a lot of liquidity flows out of these stablecoins into USDT. And it's funny because USDT was always that thing that not a lot of people had trust in. And I mean, still, we can't really read everything behind USDT. And that's also the big thing that the USDC is actually focusing on, that they want to be the transparent guys and show everything. I was actually earlier this week on Tuesday, I was on an event in Switzerland of Circle. So Circle is the company which issues USDC, and the CEO was actually there standing on a table talking about the USDC and their mission also. And they were in Switzerland. They invited us and they said, we are really emphasizing on showing everything, being transparent and so on. And it was a cool event, was awesome food there. So you can really see that that the USDC, or better said Circle, has a lot of money to make such events. So stablecoins really are profitable businesses, as it seems, and you see that the USDT is too, as it seems. The next thing I quickly want to cover is something a bit which scared a lot of people. It was about Ledger. So actually yesterday night I received this urgent notification that Ledger isn't secure anymore, and I was like, I don't believe that. I think that's fake news, and it is not fake news, but it's over dramatized. I think this is the right word. Anyways, people make too much out of it. And I did not read into the full thing right away. I just read that there is a new firmware or software coming up where, they talk about backing up the seed phrase, which is actually securing your crypto, or which is actually the key to your crypto. And then it's cloud-based and so on. And that's cool stuff. And I stopped reading in that moment where I realized that it's a new software. It's not even out yet. They just published it quickly and then took it down again. And it's still not sure if it's even coming. And also they are in the big fire of regulations right now. And we're talking a lot about DeFi regulations, right? That there's a lot of stuff happening at the moment with MiCA coming in the EU, and also new regulations probably getting established in the US and other countries. Still, Ledger, they kind of lose their trust at the moment. It's not so cool to see because it's also a big miscommunication which just happened, and a lot of people obviously made a lot of fire around because people are scared, and then you can make a cheap YouTube clicks, right? But still, get informed about this update. Actually, they made a thread about this update and all this miscommunication happening. I think you should definitely read it through if you have a Ledger. I also have one and I'm super happy with it, and you definitely should use one if you have crypto. Just get familiar with it. It's definitely worth it, and it's super secure and safe. And they just talk about, so just summarize it just super briefly. They have a new software or an update which is coming up, and the main focus is around that a lot of people still lose their private key. So the private key is actually kind of stored on this thing, but you mainly still have to store it on a piece of paper or something. The good thing is the private key was never online. It's always off chain, so it's always offline. And the big thing now is that they will offer a service where you can store your private key or your seed phrase still online, cloud-based, and it's like split in 3 different parts. And if you have 2 parts, you can restore it. Cool thing, right? It's kind of against the idea why I made a Ledger in the first place, or why I use the Ledger in the first place. But still, you have the offline signing utility, and it's still a cool thing, but it's then more like if you just use an online wallet. Also, you don't have to download that new update, right? But still, just read into it if you have a Ledger. It's an interesting read. It's a short read. You can also watch a video about it. Just be careful which information you trust. Cool. With that being said, to the next thing, which is Bitcoin. So we saw price movements, right? I still think we are really in that term right here. We had a cool mid-cycle rally. I think it's more or less over right now. It could be that we make a new high, that this was just a little correction and we're getting up to a new high, and afterwards correlate down again. This is really my prediction. I'm also trading that whole scenario like this. I went out of a lot of long positions that I have right now. I mean, I'm not long trading Bitcoin at the moment. And the thing now is also because the main argument I hear for people to go long Bitcoin is that they say, hey, we have a lot of liquidity which is actually going out of the banking system and into cryptocurrencies. And if you go into cryptocurrencies, you often go firstly into stablecoins and then into crypto. And what we saw is that we had no increase actually in market cap on Bitcoin and also not on stablecoins. So what we see down here is actually the market cap of Tether. And you may say now, hey, Elias, but what is this one? We see an increase here. The thing is, that's not really an increase. It's just a switch, basically. So people went out of BUSD and USDC, and you can see it right here. We quickly go into Tether. When you go to all and market cap, you see that peak up again, right? So we went down and went up again. And when we now just quickly go to the second biggest stablecoin, all market cap, you see a major decrease of around 20 billion, I think. Yeah, even more than 25 billion. We see Binance USD. We also see a major decrease of from 23 billion to 5 billion, so another 20 billion. So that's a lot of money which went out of the market. And it actually technically did not went out of the market, it went into USDT. And that's the major increase we see in USDT and not new liquidity. So there is no new liquidity entering the market. And this is obviously a super bearish sign, right? Because basically it just shows us that no liquidity is entering the market. And guys, we're also still in a not optimal market right now. Just when we look at the whole world, if we look at the US dollar, the debt ceiling, which is coming soon, and it's not looking too good. But still, there are a lot of investment opportunities out there right now. It's probably a good time to stand on the sidelines. We don't really know in which direction we go. If we see positive segment, we could go higher here on Bitcoin and other plays also, especially tech plays. If not, and the US economy crashes, then we're going down. Even though I am setting myself up for entering this kind of region here around the next halving. So next halving is around April 24, definitely the next important date. So far, I'm dollar cost averaging into the market still, and I will continue to do that. So right now I'm more on the short play. So I'm really looking for short opportunities in Bitcoin. Let's see how we can play this out. If you would like to see more of my kind of trading opportunities, strategies, and so on, let me know in the comments. I would be more than open to share some of this. And with that being said, I think we're already at the end of this video. I really enjoyed talking about the market. If you enjoyed it too, then please let me know with a like, or if you want to see more of this kind of content, feel free to also follow the channel. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, I wish you a very nice rest of your week, much fun and success investing, and we will see each other in the next video. Bye bye.